Welcome to the SportsBros Podcast with your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. Also, the almighty B-Live and the money man, Scotty D. And now, without any further ado, here they are, the SportsBros. What's going on, world? This be your boy, the head of creative, Eddy Kool, here at the SportsBros Podcast. And guess what? Welcome to episode 18 of the SportsBros Podcast. We want to give a big shout out to our listeners for being with us every week. Listen to us rant and rave about the one thing that we all love, and it is sports. Duh. That's why you're here. But all seriousness, thanks for hanging out with us on this 18 episodic journey. We're getting close to 20, and I am highly, highly, highly excited. And the first introduction to the other part of the SportsBros Podcast, fresh off his appearance via telephone on the Stephen A. Smith radio show, The Almighty B-Live.
And the crowd goes wild. This be your boy, the Almighty B-Live. Man, that was something else to be a part of. All it took was calling. After 17 tries, I made it in there. Persistence, baby. I'm in there. But, hey, I'm trying to get the word out. SportsBros Podcast, we're going to be nationwide, worldwide. We're going to make it big one day. As long as the money man acts right and decides he wants to be a part of the soccer fandom across the world. But, you know, we'll get him there one day. I digress. Go ahead.
And speak of the devil, the president of the Dorisburg and the Steeler Resolve fan club, the money man, Scotty D.
In the summertime when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. Guys, let me tell you something. Last week, I started by singing a little bit of Neil Diamond's America song. And everywhere I went the rest of the week, I saw people wearing red, white, and blue and American flag stuff. That just goes to show you the influence of the SportsBros Podcast. So this week, I sang Summertime, and I will be willing to bet everywhere I go this week, I'll see people wearing sunglasses, tank tops, and shorts. Can bank on it. The SportsBros Podcast, and especially me, the voice of me reaching out and spreading like wildfire here, Mean Gene. You guys are lucky to have me.
Wildfire. Speaking of wildfire, that reminds me of Tommy Wildfire Rich. Hey, somebody say something about getting fired up.
As far as that introduction with the soccer stuff, that little bit that you're throwing my way, we'll just go ahead and edit that out. Listeners probably won't even be hearing that stuff.
Wow.
Oh boy, here we go.
You and your summertime and America, that's exactly why I decided to wear my red, white, and blue. It could have been because of the U.S. women's soccer team, you know, since you don't want to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. But, you know, wait, see, Eddy Kool.
Right there.
Eddy, go ahead, get control. I told you about this now.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, boy. Once again, I got to get the Amtrak train from out of the ditch and back up on the tracks. And speaking of back up on the tracks, guess what? Kawhi Leonard has finally decided, you know what? Toronto, it was good. The Lakers, I'm fine. I'm just going to go home and sign with the crosstown rival, the Los Angeles Clippers. He inks a deal for 4 years, $142 million. Oh, but guess what? The Clippers weren't done yet. They also pull off another move where they acquire Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ooh-wee. This changes the complexion of everything. We're going to do a little different this time. Scotty D, what are your thoughts about the signing of Kawhi Leonard and the acquisition of Paul George?
Well, let me tell you what I like. I mean, obviously, as a Laker fan, I wanted to see Kawhi Leonard join the Lakers. That's nonsense to say that anybody wouldn't want him on their team. What I liked about it is that going into the NBA next year for the first time in over a decade, we don't know who's going to be in the finals. For the last 5 years, we knew it was going to be the Warriors, and before that, we knew it was going to be the Heat when LeBron was down there with Dwayne Wade and Bosh. So him leaving Toronto not only opens up the East, but it levels out the West, because had he gone to the Lakers, it would have been just like another Golden State situation. If I would have said name the 5 best players or the 10 best players in the NBA, you wouldn't have had to go too far down the list before you would have named LeBron, AD, and Kawhi, all playing for one team. So I like the fact that there's going to be a more competitive balance. I do like that. What I didn't like is I don't like how the players are basically rearranging the NBA. If he wanted to play for the Clippers, sign with the Clippers. If he wanted to play for the Knicks, sign with the Knicks. But the fact is, Oklahoma City just absolutely got blindsided in this. This is a team that rolled out the red carpet for Paul George, gave him everything he wanted, and Paul George, in turn, wanted to be there. I mean, fair enough. A year ago, he said, "I want to be there." He didn't go to the Lakers last year, and everyone thought that was going to be what was going to happen. But for him to basically mess with another team, Paul George didn't have any designs on leaving OKC until Kawhi said, "Can you get out of that contract? Can you get to LA?" And so I didn't like that. I feel for Russell Westbrook having yet another person ditch him. I feel for Toronto and that they went all in on Kawhi, and not only did they lose Kawhi and they lost Danny Green, at least they have a trophy to show for it. But I'm just not a big fan of how all these players are now playing pickup basketball, because Kawhi's not the only one that did it. KD and Kyrie Irving, they're going and playing together, and it just seems to be the norm of the NBA ever since LeBron joined forces with D Wade and Bosh, that the players now are friends outside of basketball, where prior to that, it seemed like guys wanted to beat each other. They wanted to be competitors. Now they want to be teammates, and that's the only bad taste left in my mouth. I didn't like the way that went down, especially when it comes to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, long gone are the days where it was just Jordan versus Bird, and we're not trying to play together. I'm trying to beat the brakes off of you. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your friend. We're going to shoot this little funny commercial, but when we get on that basketball court, it's a whole different story.
Exactly.
Something to note, Paul George is from Palmdale, California, and Kawhi is from Los Angeles, the city of Angels, California. So it's a homecoming for 2 of the top players in the NBA. Be Live, where you at on this whole Paul George, Kawhi, kerfluffle, and everything else?
Well, let me educate the other 2/3 of the SportsBros Podcast and those listeners out there. This is what you call the collective bargaining agreement.
CBA.
The power is in the hands of the players. Gone are the days of owners sitting in the press, in the skybox, counting their money and just doing whatever they want to do. Gone are those days. The players now have the power, and guess what they want to do? They want to be here. They want to be there. Unfortunately, for certain franchises, they might not be the most attractive option. I applaud everything that Kawhi Leonard did, because not only did he make it back home, which has always been a desire for him, he also shunned the Lakers, which was just a beautiful thing to me, because that was just wonderful, because it didn't even make any sense for it to be LeBron and then Anthony Davis, and then that whole trade to get Anthony Davis, sending pretty much every bit of their talent that they just picked up. But it's okay. It's okay. I get it. Kyle Kuzma's dating the boss. Dating the boss. All right. It's whatever.
Oh wow.
I know.
Did you say he was he was a side piece or something like that?
Absolutely.
Young thing. Oh boy.
But no, I say this. For Scotty D, for you to sit here and say, "Woe is me," when it comes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, they knew off rip when they picked him up from Indiana that was where his heart was at. If you
but he signed a contract prior to last season. He chose to stay there. He went that way. As far as they knew, he made a commitment to that franchise, and he didn't want out until last week. He was fine there. That's what I don't appreciate is him. Is Kawhi trying to bring someone? He disrupted another franchise who already had their plan in place.
Well, that's the nature of the business. That's why it's called free agency. That's why
I get it. I understand, but that doesn't mean I like it. That's my point. Is I don't like how this structure is.
Well, here's one thing that I thoroughly enjoy about what Scotty D, the money man, likes and doesn't like. Man, we are sand in the ocean. We are a blip on the radar, not even a blip when it comes to the nature of the business when it comes to the NBA. There's certain things I definitely don't like, but this is one thing I do like. I like the power being in the hands of the players because we've seen firsthand when the power is in the hands of the owners, and when it comes to owners that don't give a flying, oh boy, let me keep my expletives out of it.
Because the FCC won't let you be.
Right. Because you've seen when owners, when they don't care about their fan base, when they don't care about the franchise, all they care about the almighty dollar, you see what happens with the product. So it's one of those things where I'm glad to see players take charge. Like, all right, you know what? Let's build something. Let's do some things together. We can do this. We can do that. They're doing the negotiations where 20 years ago, it was all general managers in a suit. Half of them never even played a lick of basketball and got handed something by mommy and daddy dearest that owned the team. Jenny Buzz, has she played a lick of basketball ever in her life? Rob Pelinka, has he ever played a lick of basketball in his life?
Yeah, he was with the Fab Five on Michigan's team. He played.
What? When?
What?
Rob Pelinka played with Michigan.
He played what? He
Basketball.
played the bench?
Well, he played. I mean, he knows basketball.
All right. Well, first of all, he doesn't know how to be a GM to start with because he didn't clear enough.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
But no, I think, yes, it might be a little bit disheartening to Oklahoma City, a little bit disheartening, but they knew the risk involved. They knew where Paul George's mind was at, and then the opportunity presented itself. And I'm not sure, I can't remember his name offhand, but he basically said that the GM of OKC basically said, "Hey, if you don't want to be here, all right, you know what? Let's make some moves. Let's go. Let's get some draft picks and everything." OKC would be all right in a couple years. They'll be all right 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line when
they won't, because what's
will.
going to happen is they're going to draft players, and then their picks and New Orleans picks are going to say, "Let's go play for the Lakers," or "Let's go play for the Heat," and then the same thing's going to happen. These teams that want to draft and develop players, they're going to lose them now because these guys are just deciding who they want to team up and go to.
I say this, it's not a direct recipe for success for teams to be building up and doing all this stuff because, I mean, your small market teams are still the ones that are winning. Well, I don't know if you call Toronto a small market team. In the U.S. mindset, they're a small market team, but in Toronto is what, 10, 11, 12 million people strong?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big city in Canada, and it's unfortunate for Toronto. But at the same note, they knew what they were getting when they got Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi delivered. And that's the business at the end of the day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At least Toronto, they got their championship out of it. They got a title, so it paid off what they did in the short term. But in the long term, Toronto's not going to draw any free agents, and neither is Minnesota and Memphis and most of the other teams in the league. So you have to try to take care of your own players. But when your own players are getting calls from other superstars to leave, it just makes it a very difficult competitive balance. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you how difficult it is, though, by my prediction for next year's NBA champion. It's gonna be the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh boy.
It's not going to be the Lakers. It's not going to be the Clippers. It's not going to be the Brooklyn Nets. It's not going to be the Pelicans. It's not going to be Toronto. It's not going to be all these teams that everybody's talking about. The winner it's going to be more. But your argument.
I'll take the field.
You take the field.
We'll bet JR's $50 that it's not the Bucks next year.
Because JR's losing that bet, so I'm gonna have that $50. But see, here's the thing. So you're saying that all these big market teams now, because the players want to play together, this, that, and the third. If you're a good GM, look at Golden State. Look what they did before Kevin Durant. They drafted well. they built a market and a franchise out of nothing.
I agree.
They drafted well.
I agree.
Milwaukee's doing the same exact thing. Look at what Milwaukee has. Look at their roster right now.
But look in 2 years down the road, if they don't win a championship, Giannis is going to bolt. He's going to leave.
It's funny that you bring that up about Giannis because I think if I'm not mistaken, they just signed his brother Theodis.
They did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they signed his brother, so that goes to show me that Milwaukee is doing what they can to keep him there because they know as well as everybody else do. When the Greek Freak leaves, it's back to being cold, dreary Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And ain't nobody, and there's not going to be a destination. No one's coming to Milwaukee. Once the Greek Freak leaves, everything's done. Everything's done. Hey, in that case, just go ahead and start getting ready for the Packers. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But yeah, like the point that I want to make is that the players make the league. There's the excitement for the league, why the league is making the amount of money that it is because of the power of the players. There's a reason right now that before the earthquake, people were packing out Las Vegas, whatever the arena that they were playing in. It's because it's the power of the players. People are there to see Zion Williamson against R.J. Barrett. And then the Lord Almighty said, let me shake things up real quick. And then, but as I digress on that. It's the power of the players, and I applaud what the players are doing. And then there's still players out there that don't want to team up, and they still make teams great. Like look at Denver, look at Utah, look at Portland. Dame Time said, "But hey, y'all can do all this."
3 teams who combined for no titles.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, name the teams that have won the titles the past 10 years. You're saying the Miami
Heat and Golden State.
And Golden State didn't do it with a super team. They built one. Golden State was not a destination 6 years ago. It was not.
Yeah,
Durant went there. That was his destination. He joined. They drafted and put together a great team, and they had a superstar. And KD left and went there to be yet another.
But 6 years ago, they weren't a destination. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's my argument right there. Is the fact that just because players are teaming up and going here, there, and everywhere doesn't mean that a franchise can't put together something and make something magical. Again, watch Milwaukee this year. They were a snippet away from beating Toronto, but Toronto's defense lined up and they said shut down Giannis, the Greek Freak, shut him down. Now, guess what Milwaukee's going to do? I'll make some moves. Chris Middleton's going to be a freaking rock star there. Freaking the Lopez brothers. You got 2 sets of brothers.
Both of them, yes. Right, yeah, you got 2. That's right. You got Brooke Lopez, Robert Lopez, and you got the Antetokounmpo. Yes.
And then, you got Eric Bledsoe. I mean, that's the beauty of what's going on. And there's a lot of hype behind it. Free agency even brought even more hype. I love the way everything is orchestrated now. That's like you said, and I'm using your argument that there's no super team. There's no bona fide. Somebody is automatically going to make it to the finals. Thank you, Kawhi. You saved the NBA this season, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful to watch, sir.
Yep, some balance was restored to the league. Also, think about it on that Clippers staff. You got Kawhi playing defense, and Patrick Beverly playing defense. And then you got Paul George who plays defense as well, too. So they're going to have to play defense. So it's going to be hell trying to play against the Clippers. They have an all-around team. I think they're good to go. Oklahoma City got a bunch of bodies over there. But that's real interesting and unique trade. I'm telling you, boy, Jerry West, wheeling and dealing. The question has to be asked, what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook? I tell you what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook. Nothing. And I'll tell you why. You know what? It's real good for 3 consecutive seasons to average a triple-double in points, assists, and steals. That's great, good, cool, fine, and dandy. But does that win you the championship? No. You will not have no dip on your chip. You will have naked fingers. You will be ringless because there's no way in hell that one man can play power forward, point guard, center all in one night. even though Russell Westbrook makes it look possible, there's no way in hell that he can do that. Because you know it's serious when he's fighting his own teammates over rebounds. I'm not here to question his heart, his determination, and his drive, but damn it, you got other guys on the team that are willing to play those positions as well, too. So has averaging a triple-double won anything for anybody but a bunch of games and an early exit of the playoffs? That's about the only thing it does. As far as winning championships, it hasn't done it none whatsoever. So what do you guys think Russell Westbrook will wind up at?
He's going to the Heat. He's going to the Heat and joining Jimmy Butler, and they're still not going to do anything. Who would want him? I'm just saying, like on some nights you may have to, take over the game, but every night, dude, come on now. Come on. You got other teammates. It's like this. Maybe it's a classic case of them not stepping up and him overcompensating for them not stepping up. That's another thing you got to take into consideration too. The thing about it is with that, when Kevin Durant was there, Russell shot the ball more than Kevin Durant, which is ludicrous.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of, we going from people not having rings to people winning championships. The women's national soccer team.
Hey.
What's up, Scotty D?
USA.
There we go. They defeat the Netherlands 2-0 to win their 4th World Cup in team history. It was a thing of beauty. The ladies did it. They done it. And the winner of the Golden Boot goes to Megan Rapinoe, a.k.a. the Steeler. Well, I'm not going to say she stole Randy Orton's celebration, but yeah, she was the leader of the team. She had a big role in the team, did it real big. B.I.G., ginormous. Shout out to big homie Rapinoe. She did that. Scotty D, what you think about it? This might be real short. Watch this.
I thought this was interesting. In 2009, there was a study done of navel lint showing that the belly button fluff is predominantly blue in color. And it's mainly because a large portion of our clothes are bluish or gray, and the jeans and the fibers from the jeans and the shirts ultimately work their way into your belly button, and blue is the predominant color.
Why do I got a feeling you actually looked that up?
I'm a trivia guy.
Yeah, I'm leaving that in the show. I'm damn sure leaving that in the podcast.
Look, I'm glad the women won. I didn't watch it. I was glad when Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France, but I didn't watch him pedal up a mountain. I'm just good for the USA, but I'm not watching that boring sport. Sorry.
All right, B-Live.
Oh, my God. Scotty D, you never cease to amaze me. Man, I will say this. I'm ecstatic for the U.S. women's team. They definitely proven themselves to be, of course, elite. And they now join Germany as the only countries that have won back-to-back Women's World Cup. From all the controversy, all the talk, all the showboating and everything, it's one of those things that sort of makes U.S. of A. exactly who we are. We are not the world favorites in anything.
Exactly.
Because, we have a tendency to upset other countries by our demeanor, by the way we carry ourselves, but we are America.
We're heels, baby. Heels. He's a heel.
And it was one of those things. So just watching the ladies play. One thing I will say that leaps and bounds makes me very happy about their victory and everything. It's just the legacy that they leave behind. Women's soccer in the United States is leaps and bounds much better than any other country in the world, and it shows the amount that is invested into it. And that's something that I thoroughly enjoy, is that when we invest into our youth, invest into our up-and-coming talent, and giving the young ladies in the country a platform and something to strive for is absolutely amazing. So that's the one thing that excited me more than anything about that. I'm gonna talk a little bit later. I'm gonna throw some pepper on this topic. Haha, you like that little segue? I'm gonna throw a little pepper on this topic as well. But it was an amazing hard fought effort from the ladies, and they proven to be the best in the world. The best in the world.
Don't pass out, B-Live. But we got it. Please don't pass out.
I didn't take a deep breath because I wasn't gonna try it. But I mean, I could surpass. Was it Robinson? What's his name from WWE? I see.
Greg Hamilton.
Greg Hamilton. Whatever the dude's name is, I can do better than him. But then again, I digress.
we digress. We digress. And shout out to the women's for getting it done. Men, I'm gonna need you to do better. Okay, I'm gonna need you to do better. All right, you lost 1-0 to Mexico in the CONCACAF Cup.
What a heartbreaker that was.
Yeah. Jesus, again. See, all right, I'm
lost a nail biter.
I'm gonna save the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening across the world, the sport of football, soccer in America is not necessarily the most intriguing thing to 2/3 of the Sports Bros podcast, but your boy, the almighty B-Live, will come through because I love the sport. I love playing it. I played a little bit of soccer. Just to let you know, I know I might not fit the mold, but yes, I did play it. I want to say this because I did watch the entirety of the men's game as well. And man, they were knocking on the door so many times, and I felt like
so close.
Scott, you
almost scored.
Yeah. God bless them. If you gonna let me have this segment? You Eddy Kool, you wait. I'm so sick.
What? Wait a minute. Quick reference points. To see the Money Man Scotty D's thoughts, opinions, and reactions to the sport of soccer, just watch his edition of Scott's Thoughts, and you'll see what he thinks about football.
How he disrespects the snack of popcorn. I love popcorn, by the way. But no, I want to say because it was exciting. One thing I will say, because the Gold Cup was in Chicago. And it sounded like there was more fans of Mexico than there were United States in Chicago.
I'm not surprised.
That's because we don't care.
We don't
care.
Okay.
If that cup game, I'm going to tell you, if that was a Gold Cup, if that Gold Cup game would have taken place in the parking lot in front of my house, I wouldn't have gone outside to watch it. Boring. It's soccer. Can we please talk about sports again now? Now we get that out of the way.
Oh man, so here we go. We're gonna have this debate where the almighty B-Live and the Money Man Scotty D, where they just fight to the death about soccer. Also, real quick, I had no idea how big of a rivalry the New York Red Bulls and the Atlanta United was. Had no idea how big of a rivalry it was until I saw yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you can throw their records right out the window whenever they face each other. That's a big-time rivalry.
Speaking of getting tossed around, let's go ahead and segue to UFC 239. Yes, UFC 239, a very entertaining and hard-hitting, Ben Askren, hard-hitting card. All right, since I kind of gave it away, Jorge Masvidal destroys Ben Askren as he eats a knee. Yes, as he eats a knee.
Ate it.
Salt, pepper, sriracha, fork, spoon, eats a knee and catches an L 5 seconds into the first round. Wow. And there's a backstory behind that. I don't know if anyone knows. I guess Ben Askren just spent all this time talking trash, talking cash money, you know what, to Jorge, just called him George. Just being stupid. Just being real dumb. And in the words of Cat Williams, you should have been talking all that. You know what? And next thing you know, the guy runs at you. I'm trying to figure out like, how in the hell you see a man run at you with a knee and you put your head down. Anybody want to tell me in the words of Shula King, why do you put your head down when you see a knee coming at you?
He never saw it, man. If you look at the replay, he was expecting Masvidal to shoot, I think, and that's why he was going down almost for a sprawl. I don't think he was expecting the guy to come racing at him like a bullet like that. But, man, what a perfect connect. I've never seen – well, obviously no one's ever seen that before because that was the fastest in UFC history as far as a knockout goes. But, yeah, man, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I mean, Ben Askren,
that's what he gets.
I watched him fight, and he was undefeated, by the way. But he's only been in the UFC for a short time. But his last fight, he fought Robbie Lawler, and Robbie Lawler is a heavy-handed monster. And he had Askren just about knocked out, and he survived. And he ended up winning on a very controversial decision. I don't know if you saw this, but he had Lawler in a headlock, and the referee thought Lawler went limp. And as soon as he let go, Lawler popped up, and nothing you can do about it at that point. But afterwards, when he was asked if he would fight Lawler again, he brushed him off. He's yelling at Dana White, "Is that the best you got?" Well, dude, you got the best. You got a better shot the other night, and you paid dearly for it.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. That was the record knockout. So it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Having said that, I was actually worried about the dude because he looked rough. Even when he came to, he didn't know where he was at. But when they went off the air, he was still in La La Land. So I don't like seeing somebody's in that danger, that kind of danger, because that could be life altering. That's just like getting hit with a club in the head. I mean, it was full force, but I didn't feel bad that he's the one that was victimized. I was going to be rooting for Masvidal in that fight for sure.
So where you at? Friday.
Yeah.
Exactly. Be like, what you think about this whole fight here between Ben Funky Askren and Jorge Masvidal?
Let me try this out. I'm gonna try this out real quick. Because it's an old school saying that don't write a check with your mouth that your butt can't cash.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I think that's how it goes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was unfortunate where I didn't get to see it live, but that knee shot was heard around the world so much. I mean, my social media blew up that I had to find a way to grasp the highlight from it because I was at work and nothing really was going on. I mean,
he needs some milk.
I'm over here scrambling. Hey, what is going on? Because I'm getting text messages, Facebook messages. I'm seeing stuff pop up on my Twitter feed. SportsBros Podcast. Had to throw that in there. I was looking at it. I was trying to keep up with it. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, whoa. Rewind. And then I finally saw it, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yep.
That's something that's so exciting about the world of mixed martial arts. Yes, it cut the card a little short. Then almost reminded me of one of those Mike Tyson boxing matches that you paid such and such amount of money for, and it was over in the first round, and you was like, well, good Lord. But
yeah,
that card the other night was full of.
It was loaded. It was loaded. Yeah. So
I mean, we saw Holly Holm go down in the first round to Amanda Nunes, who is officially now the baddest woman on the planet.
Oh yeah,
because she has now defeated Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, and Miesha Tate. All three were the champions in that. She's beaten everybody who's ever been a champion in that 135 UFC weight division. And on top of that, she beat Cyborg knocked her out in the first round. There is no question. They're going to have to start putting her in against the dudes, man, because she's just cleaning out the women over on that side.
She's not just Amanda Nunes. She is Mandy 2 Beltz.
Yeah, she got the 2 belts, and she's just an absolute beast. That card was so crazy because Diego Sanchez fought on that card, and his fight was actually the most boring one of the 5 on the main card, and he's usually the guy who's out there throwing the most hands. But between those 2 fights, and then John Jones actually absolutely laid a clunker, in my opinion. It reminded me a little bit. I remember when Floyd Mayweather was first coming through the boxing ranks, and he was just he was hungry and just beating guys and throwing hands. And then after he got to a certain point, he started being more of a defensive fighter, and and to his credit, you couldn't beat him because he was faster or more skilled and smart the way he played it. And I got that sense with John Jones the last 2 times I've watched him fight is he wasn't out for blood as much as he was just to try to point his way through and kind of coast to victories. And he got lucky the other night because he won a split decision, but he's fortunate that one more judge didn't give one more round to the other guy, or he would have walked out of there without his belt.
Yeah, champion's advantage, and that exactly happened with that fight. I wanted to make a point as well with the Nunes Holly Holm fight. Did anybody see something a little similar to when Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey?
How so?
Yeah, I think because it looked like Amanda Nunes when that kick that she put on.
She kicked her.
Yeah, it looked exactly the same. Like I want to catch those 2 clips and put them side by side. The way that Holly Holm caught that kick and laid back, it looked exactly like when she caught Ronda Rousey. So I want to pull up those videos. I'm gonna look back at that but Amanda Nunes, absolutely the baddest woman on the planet without question. And I want to say about the John Jones fight, that was such a technical fight with Santos. Santos was catching him with the inside leg kicks, and that took a lot of the John Bones Jones mantra out of it because he definitely felt those kicks, and you can tell. And I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for his knee buckling, yes, I went and did the research. It was his knee buckling. Scotty D is right again. All right. Uh-oh. I give credit where credit is due sometimes. But anyway, but if his knee didn't buckle, Santos wins that fight easily.
Yeah, I think so. But maybe it could also have been that Jones, seeing that his opponent had a knee injury, now he didn't attack it, but he also, I think, felt a little bit more secure in that because there was no sense of urgency because he didn't feel threatened. He didn't feel like he was in any danger. But he was down, I think, 2-0 and he was on. I heard that out of the 3 judges, they all scored the first and the third the exact same way, which was Santos for the first, Jones for the third, and then 2, 4, and 5 were all scored differently. None of those were identically scored. But if one more judge would have seen it Santos' way, and it's possible that with the injury, he would have been able to do more damage to Jones and steal one of those other rounds, then yeah, we could have had a new champion. And Jones just looked to me uninspired, like he was just trying to coast and get out of there.
Yeah, get out of there. So you mean to tell me? So I'm looking at Thiago Santos. I'm like, wow, this dude is a house. And you mean to tell me he's 205 pounds?
He was 205 pounds.
Weigh-in.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I'm looking at him, I'm like, there ain't no way in hell this big ass. The dude's a house. I'm like, I'm no small man myself, but I can look at him and be like, man, you're not a little man.
No, and he's known for his knockout power, which is another thing. Why did Jones not get him to the ground at all at any point? He never even attempted to take him down. And you would think that would be what he would want to do to neutralize his opponent's biggest strength, and he never did that. I even heard at the end of the first round, his corner said, "I'd like to see you shoot in at his hips," and he never did it the rest of the way.
Yeah, a guy like if you're a knockout artist, and if you don't, best way not to get knocked out is to avoid the punch and put that joker on the ground because he can't knock you out from the damn ground. Cannot knock you out from his back. Cannot do it. But overall, UFC 239 was very entertaining, and Ben Askren, try again, player.
Yeah.
Speaking of trying again and moving on to our favorite section of the show, the choices of the voices. You guys know how we do it. Scotty D posed the question, and you guys provide the answers, and it's very entertaining. So, Scotty D, what is the question for the choices of the voices?
The question coming into today, what athlete from the past would you like to see compete in today's athletic world?
And we have a lot. We have a lot going on in and I want to thank you guys for putting your responses in one place. One place. I appreciate it. I was able to find everything. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing what you do. All right. Mike Davis says, Larry Johnson, Grandma Mom, not the running back from the Kansas City Chiefs. He said he was a beast in college and his first few years before injury slowed him down. Yeah, Grandma Mom. Yeah, Larry Johnson was that dude for quite some time.
Oh, yeah, and he would compete well with today's. He'd fit in pretty well.
J.R. Speak says Joe Montana and Dan Marino in football. And in basketball, he said George Gervin, the Iceman, Dr. J, and Moses Malone.
Yeah, those are good responses. Iceman was very creative. You know, he fit in the flashier style of the NBA. And Marino and Montana were really kind of the guys that transitioned the old school style of quarterbacking into slinging it around the yard a little bit more. So, for sure, they'd be in their element in today's NFL, I think.
Yep. Dan Marino would have 7,000 yards passing and 100 touchdowns if he played this year's NFL, because it is a pass-happy league. The quarterback is so protected. So, I mean, it would be very interesting to see those styles in today's game. So it's one of those things where, like, yeah, his records would be just ridiculous at this point. So I definitely agree. I would love to see that, because it is the era of the quarterback when it comes to the NFL.
I'm with you on that, B-Live. I can easily see him passing for 7,500 and get damn near 100 touchdowns. I mean, think about it. He was the first one to pass for 5,000 yards. So it's kind of like, break my own record, hold my beer. Yeah, watch this. Yeah, that's what the almighty Dan Marino. Just a damn shame he never won a Super Bowl. Jim Hansen, shout out to Jim Hansen. He said Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, you could plug into any era.
Yeah.
That little dude, he'd scoot through anybody. You couldn't find him. He's out there just working his way through the cracks and crevices of defenses, man.
Oh, and I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna do a little bit more research. Why did Barry Sanders end his career so abruptly? Because he still had, if I'm not mistaken, he still had like 4 or 5 more years in his tank, and he just stopped playing. I've heard a couple stories, and that's why I don't want to quote something right now. But I heard there was some miscommunication between his agent and the GM of the team, and they thought that he retired. He retired early.
Bro, he was playing for the Lions. It was time to go.
Yeah, it was time. Yeah, that was and they were atrocious at the time. It was like, you know what? I'm gone. I'm out. I don't need to be here no more. Yeah, I'm reading an article says on July 27th, 1999, Sanders announced he was retiring from pro football. His retirement was made public by faxing a letter to the Wichita Eagle. Wow, his hometown newspaper. He left on his own terms. He left healthy, having gained over 15,000 yards, the highest total at the time by NFL player in a 10-year span. 109 touchdowns, 99 rushing, 10 receiving. He said it was just, Sanders' retirement came somewhat expectedly and what was a matter of controversy. 2 years earlier, he had renewed his contract. Okay, here we go, B-Live. He renewed his contract with the Lions for $34.56 million over 6 years with an $11 million signing bonus. The Lions demanded that he return $5.5 million of the bonus. Sanders said nope. The Lions sued, and on February 15, 2000, an arbitrator ruled that Sanders had to immediately repay $1.83 million, a sixth of the bonus, and remained to be repaid over each of the 3 years Sanders had left on his contract. Yeah, it got ugly.
Wow.
Just like Calvin Johnson.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. What is going on with the Detroit Lions? Because they have had, literally, Barry Sanders could easily be number 1 in the record books. Same with Calvin Johnson. If he'd have continued to play, what is going on in Detroit that these mega superstars? I'm adding some things to the name. Why now they? And I'm talking about in the prime of their careers. Yeah. They're like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. I'm out.
Because the year before, he was the NFL MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, Calvin Johnson, if he was still playing, I believe Jerry Rice and his records would be in trouble.
Oh, deep trouble. Deep trouble. All right. Back to the choices of the voices. I like this one. Martin Tracy said, "Bring back Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins."
Just by bringing up Chocolate Thunder, the backboard smasher, Matty Ice there, Martin Tracy gets out of the penalty box.
Yep.
All I had to do is give us one good name, and you're out.
That was a unanimous decision, Mr. Matty Ice, Martin Tracy. We thought about it. Yes, we wholeheartely agree. Way to redeem yourself, sir.
You're out, but you're not far away from it.
And here's a little stat. It was Daryl Dawkins that led to the NBA to adopting the breakaway rims. Due to him busting up these backboards, costing him a bunch of money on 2 occasions in 1979. Here's another interesting kind of like what the hell moment. He got his nickname from Stevie Wonder. Anybody? Moving right along from Stevie Wonder. I'm just saying, moving right along. Will Berry said Ted Williams. He said he would love to see teams try to shift against him and watch him, Ted Williams, make them look stupid. Mr. 400 himself, Ted Williams, Teddy Ballgame.
Yeah, I like that answer because that actually kind of inspires my answer, which I'll give you in a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, the game of baseball has changed so much. Actually, more recently with the defensive shifts. Ted Williams, he hit for better average than anybody. So I'd love to see what Ted Williams would do against today's pitching.
Yeah, think about it. Him and Joe DiMaggio, especially with that 56 game hit streak. From the looks of it, fellas, I think that's one record that 56 game hit streak.
Never.
No. As soon as we see something about a 20 game hit streak, okay, our ears perk up. And I think the only time we should consider anyone threatening that number is when they get to 45 games.
And I don't see that happening.
No,
Pete Rose got to 44. That was the next closest.
Yeah, and then that's it. Because
and then Pete Rose placed a bet on himself to get that 45th one. Sorry. He jinxed himself on that one. Let's see, Rodney Bellamy. He gave us a nice loaded one as well too. In the NBA, he would love to see Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. Wow, icons of the 80s going into the 90s. Playing in today's NBA, and in the NFL, Lawrence Taylor and Larry Zonka.
LT would be raising hell in any era. I think he was the innovator of that position, that edge rusher. So I think LT would definitely stack up with anybody you put out there today.
And then, according to Scotty D's logic, Magic, Bird, and Michael Jordan would all be playing on the same team.
They would, yeah. That'd be a super team. they all playing in LA together.
They go play on the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they would go play on Orlando Magic. And Uncle Max, the show's favorite uncle, he selected Muhammad Ali. Now, B-Live and Uncle Max, they had an interesting discussion. And so, B-Live, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yes, absolutely. And I will say, Uncle Max, I agree with you 100%. I just thought it would be intriguing to see a Muhammad Ali Tyson Fury match. And I trying to remember, I think it was one of my videos that I put out there for What Happened Wednesdays that I compared the two, just the way the little rope-a-dope and how they dance and how they they're both very skilled and technical fighters. I think that it would be very interesting. We always have that nostalgia about the older ages of any sport and the talent level and what it took and everything like that. And would it compare to the new age, the millennial type situation that we face today? I think when it comes to the overall individual talent, and agility and speed, I think today's athlete is a little bit more athletic than 30, 40 years ago, because there's been such advances when it comes to technology, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to exercise and so forth. And that's why I made a little bit of comparison, because I also thought I love the art form of it. I really did. But yeah, I think Muhammad Ali would be the victor. I think his endurance level would be a little bit more like, and just the way Muhammad Ali just carried himself. He was going to be the best man in that ring, bar none, regardless of what anybody said. He was going to outmaneuver his opponent. So I will give that victory to Uncle Max and Muhammad Ali, but it would definitely be very intriguing. It would definitely be something that the boxing world desperately needs. Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree. The thing is, though, the modern heavyweight is so much bigger. I mean, Joe Frazier was Ali's biggest rival. He was 5'11", 205. Fury is 6'9", 250. Deontay Wilder 6'7", 220. I mean, these guys they're growing them bigger these days.
Right.
Yeah. Something in the food. Got to be something.
Yeah, and I think
food.
Ali was 6'3", around 230, like somewhere in that area. But yeah, it'd be nice to see the more skilled heavyweights taking on the big bulky heavyweights. It's contrasting styles, really.
Yep, that is true. That is true. So shout out to Mike, JR, Jim, Martin Tracy, Will Berry, Rodney Bellamy, and Uncle Max for coming through as they usually do in the choices of the voices. But before we go to the question for next week's show, Scotty D, who would you select? Who would you like to see play in today's sports?
It's. I was thinking about. I kept going back to the NBA for some reason and thinking how it would be to see Wilt Chamberlain in today's game, or Pistol Pete. Those guys. I think both of those guys would translate easily into today's game. But I would just love to see how Babe Ruth would go against today's pitching.
Oh, wow.
And not only that, I never got to see Babe Ruth play. So I'd love to see Babe Ruth play. Just, all these guys, I just like to see them with my own eyes, because, that's a whole bygone era. But Babe Ruth obviously was known for his power. In today's game, a lot of guys are hitting with that same kind of power. And how would Babe Ruth match up against today's pitchers? Would he still be hitting those big home runs? Would he go on a diet and try to get in shape like today's modern baseball player? Because he wasn't that. The advantage that they had back in those days was less travel and a lot more day games where you're seeing the baseball better probably than under some of the lights. But yeah, it would be interesting. And I can't say either way. I don't know. I can't say that I know that Babe Ruth would be in today's game as good a hitter. The more developments have happened with pitching, more different types of pitches to look for. I think he would adapt, because that's just what you do when you're an athlete. But I think it'd be really cool to see Babe Ruth stepping in there against Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander. That would be awesome.
Mad Max. Yeah, I was I'm thinking about, the Babe Ruth trying to play in baseball today. You have to cut back on smoking those Tampa Nugget cigars and eating donuts and eating. Yeah, you're gonna have to. You have to try it, babe. So, who knows, man? Maybe him just having a bad diet that might have been a catalyst to his power. Big boy. Full of food. Because he was not the Adonis. He didn't have a body of Adonis of a Greek god. He was out. George Herman Ruth just had a baseball. Bat, and he just had an uncanny ability to hit the ball from home plate to the stands
with hangovers.
Yes, with hangovers and 40 minutes of sleep. Be live, what you got?
I've thought about this, and it could go a lot of different directions, but I gotta stay hometown and true to it with it. I would like to see the domination of the Atlanta Braves pitching staff today.
Oh, the whole staff. Smoltz, Glavine.
Yes, sir. Greg Maddux, Steve Avery. I would like to see, and it might not necessarily be them. Yeah, well, actually, it would be them. But I would like to see what a team would do this day and age with such a dominant pitching staff. I always look back at the '90s Braves, and I'm like, man, if we'd have just had like just one more position player that really cranked it out. Like we had some players. We had your David Justice, you had your Ron Gant, Fred McGriff. We had some hitters, but it just 14 years straight we won the pennant. We only got one World Series out of it. I would like to see my old Atlanta Braves pitching staff with my new Atlanta Braves position players and watch the domination. The Braves would win it every single year. Chop on, fear to chop. That's what I would love to see. I would love to see just that dominating pitching staff and see how they would be able to do in today's baseball world.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, let's see, we're looking at Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Steve Avery, and Kent Merker on the back end.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and Charlie Leibrandt pitched. He started for a couple years too, I think.
Yep, and then you had Mark Wohlers as a closer as well too. And so, boy, that's a tall. I mean, think about it. If you're okay, like one day, you got 3-game series. Game 1, Greg Maddux. Okay. Game 2, Tom Glavine. Game 3, John Smoltz. It's like, what the hell? What the hell? Should I even get off the bus at this point? Should I even dress up at this point? I mean, like, come on. But I mean, that was their pitching was key to their dominance in the 90s, man. In the 90s, especially the year they won it, they were 90-54. Yeah, 90-54, and they just had their way with just everybody. Just should have been against the law. Should have been bad. Let's see. To be honest with you, Jim Hansen took my answer, and I'll tell you why. I would like to see Khalil Mack try to run down Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah. I mean, you see the visual, right?
Twice a year, yeah.
Yeah, twice a year. Yeah, I would like to see Khalil Mack try to run down Barry Sanders. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. As soon as I closed my eyes and saw the visual, I saw an episode of Tom and Jerry. I saw an episode of Tom and damn Jerry. Tom would get so close, but Jerry would find a way to get the hell away from Tom. And 2 times out of the year, I'm like, look, that's worth the price of admission right there. Can the big bear get the lion, the little lion in Barry Sanders? I don't think he could. We'll never know. It would have been great to see. Really great to see. So, yep. So, Beli picked the Braves pitching rotation of the 90s. Scotty D picked George Herman Ruth, also known as Babe Ruth. See, I bet they didn't even know I knew that. And I selected Barry Sanders simply because I would like to see him run circles around Khalil Mack. All right, Scotty D, what's the question for next week?
Well, actually, I'm going to pose a question that we kind of talked about and we were going to use as our own topic this week, but a lot went on, so we didn't actually get to it. But the NFL recently released their top 25 quarterbacks of all time. Their list is on NFL.com, so check it out. There's already been some debate by other players I've seen on the internet. So I'm not going to ask you to give us your top 25 quarterbacks, but how about top 5? Let's see what your top 5 looks like compared to what the NFL says. Now, I would preface this by saying a lot of our listeners probably weren't around watching Johnny Unitas play, so go with the guys that you've seen. I know Uncle Max is like 107, so he's probably he'll pick somebody like Y.A. Tittle or before Y.A. Tittle.
Wow.
What's the Flying Dutchman? Norm Van Brocklin.
Yeah. So I'm sure Uncle Max will pick somebody that
Sammy Baugh.
That didn't play with face masks.
Uncle Max.
I'm sure we can guess some of these other guys. Martin Tracy, he'll pick Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe and Matt Castle. And
Matt Castle.
Wow. Pick Cam Newton and Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, even though he's not in the NFL yet. So it'll be all Clemson, Carolina guys. But let's just be objective here. Pick your 5 best quarterbacks of all time. Let's see where that goes next week. I look forward to this one.
Scotty D, you are on one today. I see this. I'll tell you what. I want to apologize on behalf of the the same 2/3 of the Sports Bros podcast. Sometimes we don't endorse what Scotty D says. Uncle Max, we love you.
We appreciate you, Uncle Max. We really do. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Don't pay Scott no attention. It was a pleasure meeting you while we were down there in Myrtle Beach last month, and we look forward to seeing you again. And we thank you for tuning in to the Sports Bros podcast, giving us a great recommendation, and telling everybody you know. The only difference we have, Uncle Max, is who we align ourselves with from a college football standpoint, but we can look past that. We can look past that. We can look past that. Okay.
Well, look past what?
Here we go.
As far as Gamecock fans are concerned, they're Alabama fans through and through.
You know what?
Yeah. I said it.
You made that little left hand. You think I forgot that little left hand comment you made about us? Just because Vanderbilt won, we won too. No. We won our baseball national championships first. And then Vanderbilt decided they want to do something, okay?
Oh, yeah. SEC. Oh, dear God, cut it out. Anyway.
Q Scotty D. Scotty D, I'm looking for it anytime now. Anytime. What do the roads lead to?
All roads lead to
Dabo. There we go.
He might even make the top 5 NFL quarterback next week. Just so he can say his name.
Bring your own guts, baby.
Dabo was a wide receiver, mind you. And Uncle Max, thank you, because he did graduate from the University of Alabama. So we appreciate some good things come out of Alabama. We greatly appreciate it.
Uncle Max is one of them.
Yes.
Yep. All right. And speaking of moving on and cutting up and everything, so that's the question for next week. Top 5 quarterbacks, like Scotty D said. Pick somebody you saw before, okay? Okay, we haven't seen Norm Van Brocklin or Sling and Sammy Ball or Johnny Unitas for that matter. So get somebody we know. All right, they're great in their own right, but be objective. Pick somebody that we know and hey, you've seen before. All right, now to the entertaining portion of the show. Not like the show was entertaining, but here's another entertaining portion of the show: the penalty box. And before we get started, I'm just going to go ahead and say that Clint Hurdle was granted furlough recently. But guess who? But Be Live. Guess who found his way back into the penalty box?
Golly. We talked about it. We were so close to getting Clint Hurdle out of the penalty box. And then Scotty D.
And then this happened, Scott. What happened, Scott?
You have the floor, sir.
Oh, my goodness. Pittsburgh Pirates fans want this manager gone so bad. So Clint Hurdle, last week I declared on this show that the Pirates were pretty much done. And then you know what happened in the past week? They took 3 out of 4 against the Cubs and 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. So
two division games.
They were the division leaders. And after winning the first 3 games against the Cubs, largely due to the fact that Adam Frazier, second baseman, was 9 for 10 in those 3 games, he gives him the day off on the 4th of July. He's not playing him. The guy's batting 900 in the series, and he's on the bench. Got to get him some rest. He's like 20 years old. He doesn't need rest running from the dugout to second base every day. Let the guy play. You got the All-Star break coming up. This is the kind of garbage I have to put up with on a daily basis with Clint Hurdle. He is back in the penalty box.
Boom. So, leading off is Clint Hurdle.
Leading off. Absolutely. We tried.
Clint, we tried, buddy. We tried. I mean, Clint, we tried.
But you did it to yourself.
2 more weeks in the box.
Yeah, 2 more weeks in the box. I mean, the Pirates right now, it's at the halfway point of the season. They're still in contention for the division and the wild card. But, this is how you get in the penalty box, by doing stupid stuff. So, Clint Hurdle, take a seat. It never got cold in the first place. For bitch, the player is bad. When 9 out of 10, come on.
Hot.
Hot. Scorching.
Jesus. Yeah.
But Clint Hurdle, you need some rest. 10 years ago, this kid was 14 years old, okay? Okay? He don't need no rest. He's just getting started. All right. Beli's favorite, James Dolan, for doing nothing to improve a storied franchise. I'm gonna just give this to Beli.
Because you know, it's to the point now that I even doubt the fact that the New York Knickerbockers are a storied franchise.
Gasp.
I'm just saying, like, Yes, Madison Square Garden is just a beautiful place and all the venues and people go there. But you know what? Madison Square Garden is known more for concerts than it is for actual basketball. Yes, I said it. And now they managed to, after he says in March that he's going to pay top dollar for the talent and blah, 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 you hesitate and don't offer the best player in the planet, Kevin Durant, a max deal. He wants to play in New York. What? Give that man a year off, pay him so you get the other 3, possibly 4, possibly the rest of his career if you do right. But now you don't have that chance. You're not going to have that chance. And now you've set a precedent to anybody else in the league that why would anybody want to play for the Knicks at this point in time? James Dolan.
And this is the same man that canceled a meeting with Kawhi. Canceled it. I don't want to talk now.
You clearly you don't want to rebuild a franchise. I say rebuild. I'm gonna say build because outside of Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, that you won't even allow in the building anymore, John Starks. What really has the Knicks done?
Anthony Mason, Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah, what exactly have the Knicks done to be a storied franchise outside
Allen
of being
Houston? Who else?
We just naming a few names, but you've got the Celtics, you got the Lakers, you've got the Bulls, the Heat, you've got San Antonio Spurs.
Yep.
Now we're going to throw in Golden State in there. But the Knicks aren't even part of that conversation. So, storied franchise, not so much. James Dolan, you're headed in the wrong direction with what could easily be the number one destination for a basketball player. The name behind it says enough because that's what it is. Who doesn't want to be in the lights of New York? Not anymore because of James Dolan. Penalty box.
Penalty box. And we're going to save the best for last. I'm going to switch around for a little bit. Rafael Nadal for conducting a scratch and sniff test, on worldwide TV. He was picking boogers and digging for dingleberries. You're nasty. Just stop. Cut it out. All right? And also goes out to Orenthal James Simpson, a.k.a. O.J. Simpson, for wilding out on Twitter, saying that he's got some getting even to do and posting knife emojis. And I found out why he was posting knife emojis, because he got punked by a troll account, of all accounts, a freaking troll account. I'm going to get you back. I'll dust you up, sucker. Yeah, if I did it, or you done it, Pootie, you done it. All right? And then we got Robert Kraft, just cause.
And I'm going to say this. I will formally announce today that this will be the last week that Robert Kraft is on our penalty box because of James Dolan and one other franchise owner that I will allow the head of creative to mention a little bit later. We got a lot of franchise owners. Robert Kraft, I'm going to give you just a little bit of credit for your 6 Super Bowl rings. 3 of them still have an asterisk next to them because of Spygate, Deflategate, and all other gates that you've got going on. Might as well call you Bill Gates, owner of Microsoft, with all the gates that you got going on. But I think I will petition for you to be removed from the penalty box. So it's pending, but I would like to formally announce that on the podcast today.
Scotty D, how you feel about Robert Kraft might be granted release from the penalty box?
It's time.
It's time.
Time to move on. Freshen it up.
It's time. It's Vader time. I'm sorry. It just had to happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of weaseling your way back into the box, I don't know how you escaped, but we got you back anyway. Paul Pierce for his blasphemous comments on his playoff predictions and comparison to D-Wade, because ain't no way in hell he's better than D-Wade.
What I'm going to do about Paul Pierce is hopefully hopefully in the past like couple of weeks with free agents and everything, I'm gonna see if I can get some sound bites about with Paul Pierce. See if he might have said something halfway decent that makes some sense to see about him. Yes, he needs to be back in the penalty box, but I'm gonna do a thorough review of Paul Pierce, possibly because I just want fresh new material to keep him in the penalty box, because I'm pretty sure he said something else stupid. But that's my thoughts.
I'm just trying to figure out how the hell do you slip out. And of course, Scotty D's favorite band, that he's the president of the fan club, Doris Burke and the Steeler Resolve.
Yeah, this is gonna be it for Doris for the summer. This will be her last. She'll be getting out next week.
What the hell is going on? Are you guys getting soft on me?
No,
They can't leave them in forever. You know, we got to freshen it up, and she'll find her way back in the fall when the NBA season starts. I have full faith in her. So I just don't want to talk about her anymore.
Okay, because she loves her some you.
I enjoy your rants about Doris Burke. Dang,
we'll get back to it. Trust me.
I'll find another sound bite. We'll keep going. We'll keep going with it. But one last owner that we have not talked about that is definitely in the penalty box.
From North Carolina, Michael Jeffrey Jordan for treating. You know what? C. James Dolan. That's all I got to say. Be live. I'm going to just let you have that one.
See, here's the thing. Michael Jordan, stop treating the Charlotte Hornets like your side piece. Like, we have the potential in one of the up-and-coming cities in the Southeast. It's growing to exponential potential, and yet the greatest player that has possibly set foot in Charlotte outside of Kobe Bryant when we drafted him and then traded him for Vlade Divac.
Thank you very much, by the
way. But Kemba Walker, max money, paid a man. Again, here's the fact of the matter that these owners are not wanting to pay these players max deals is not necessarily just for the player itself, but you set the precedent that you want to spend the money for top-tier talent. Guess what that does? It attracts more top-tier talent. But when you set your foot down as an owner saying, oh, you know what, Kevin Durant, I don't want to take the risk. Kemba Walker, I don't want to pay him. I don't know if he's worth a max deal. Are you kidding me? Why would anybody want to come play for the Knicks or the Hornets? See, James Dolan, there you go. Come on, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's supposed to be better than this. And I'm going to one up this a little bit more. To our listeners, if you have any nominees for the penalty box, let us know and we'll put them in there. Because, we want to keep this penalty box fresh and entertaining and put people that deservedly belong in the penalty box. Towards the end of the show, but ain't the END yet. It is pepper, hachoo time. It is pepper, round of pepper. You know how it is. 3 topics, kind of sort of rapid fire style. Quick, in and out, and in a hurry. And I'll go first. My first pepper point goes out to Mad Max himself, Max Scherzer. He was mentioned earlier in the podcast. Pitcher for the Washington Nationals. This week, he had a pretty good outing, offensively and defensively. Max Scherzer struck out 10, recorded a stolen base effortlessly. Trust me, watch the video, effortlessly. And he got 1 hit in his last start. So shout out for Mad Max for making it do what it do. Over to you, Scotty D.
On the 4th of July, I ate 1 hot dog in 10 minutes. Joey Chestnut ate 71. He is the man. Joey Chestnut, once again, your Nathan's hot dog eating contest still got the mustard belt. Shout out to Joey Chestnut. Over to you, B Live.
All right. America's pastime, baseball. We love it. And so much to the point where these baseball players are getting paid more than they've ever been paid before, these mega contracts. Guess what? I want to update the world on these mega contracts that are out there. Mike Trout making $36 million this year, batting .301 with 28 home runs, 67 RBIs. That's a pretty good stat line.
That's good.
He's up there. Manny Machado batting .266 with 20 home runs and 58 RBIs. Not bad, 20 home runs, you know. He's making $30 million this year. Bryce Harper, this is where it starts getting ugly, batting .263 with 16 home runs, 62 RBIs. He's getting some runs batted in, but at $26 million a year, 16 home runs, not so much. Because in comparison with my Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr., he's making $13 million this year, batting .292 with 21 home runs and 53 RBIs. So he's making half of what you're making and producing way more than you. And then my youngster, Austin Riley, he's making $555,000 this year, batting .257 with the same 16 home runs as Bryce Harper and 41 runs batted in. And the reason why he doesn't have more RBIs is because he's batting, I think he's either 6th, 7th, or 8th. I think somewhere in the back end of the lineup, so he doesn't have as many chances to bring batters in. But at $555,000, you're making almost 40 times more Bryce Harper than Austin Riley, and he's got the same amount of home runs, right around the same batting average. Yeah, fear the chop, baby. We know how to spend our money right, and that's why we're leading the NL East. Eddy Kool, have this ball.
Goody, Bryce Harper. All right. My second pepper point goes out to Coco Gauff as she's making waves at this year's Wimbledon Tennis Championships as she defeated Venus Williams in the first round. She's making waves. She is making waves. She has a lot going on. And I think she has a matchup today. I don't know her opponent, but she's trailing right now. But hopefully she pulls up from behind. But she's been on fire ever since. But it's always good to see some new blood, some new young, fresh blood in the sport of tennis. Over to you, Scotty D.
I like that one. All right. I'm coming into the season. If you would have told me that Miguel Andujar, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, Luke Voigt, Aaron Hicks, Didi Gregorius, all hurt Yankees, and they would still be at the All-Star break 57-31, I'd have been thrilled. But I think that at this point, I know it's early, you have to look at DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman that the Yankees picked up from Colorado in the offseason. He's batting .336 with 12 home runs and 63 RBIs. Way better than Bryce Harper.
Wow.
I tell you, you have to consider this cat as one of the early favorites for the American League MVP, because without that kind of production, the Yankees, they probably would not be they definitely wouldn't be having the 57-31 record and the 6-game lead in the AL East. So shout out to DJ LeMahieu on All-Star Weekend or All-Star Week. Over to you, B Live.
I'll give you that one. As much as I detest the Yankees, I'll give you that one because stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. It's all right. I'll give them that much. I'm going to actually piggyback a little bit off of Eddy Kool. Coco Gauff, her opponent today is Simona Halep. And the beautiful thing in the third round with her was the fact that she came from behind. She was down. She lost the first set, but then came back from behind. I believe she was down 4-2 in the second set and came back from behind in convincing fashion. And at 15 years old, and like I was saying about the women in soccer, 15 years old, women's tennis is on the uprising. Thank you to the Williams sisters and the torch being passed. Serena's still doing her thing, of course. Venus, I think that was a torch passing to Corey Gauff because that sport is also up and coming for the young girls in the United States. So I'm very thankful for that. Corey, Coco, keep doing your thing.
Keep on keeping on. And, of course, my final pepper point goes out to Jerry West, and he is a mastermind executive. Not only is he responsible for getting Kawhi Leonard and also trading for Paul George, Listen to what he did. He signed Shaquille O'Neal. Then he traded for Kobe Bryant. And then when he traded for Kobe Bryant, that freed up Vlade Divac's contract for them to sign Shaq. And then, a lot of people don't know this, when he was the GM at Golden State, he stood up for Klay Thompson. He said, you know what? You want to trade Klay Thompson, the cold and snowy Minnesota, for Kevin Love. And Jerry West said, look here, if you do it, I'm going to. I quit. And Golden State said, no, we'll keep him. Well, as they say, the rest is history. So big shout out to the mastermind executive, Michael Jordan, James Dolan, come sit under the learning tree of the logo, number 44, Jerry West. And y'all might learn how to run something besides the team budget in your mouth. So, yeah, big shout out to Jerry West. Over to you, Scotty D.
Always like Jerry West.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to stick one more time on our theme here of All-Star Week. In the conversation for National League MVP is Josh Bell of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, he's not going to track down Cody Bellinger or Christian Yelich. Those guys are the obvious favorites. But, man, what a great first half for Josh Bell. He has 27 home runs and 84 RBIs, which have already exceeded his production of all of last year.
Wow.
And, man, Pittsburgh Pirates need a star, man. They need something to rally around. And I'm hoping that Josh Bell can continue to be that rising star in Pittsburgh. He's a likable kid, and he plays hard, and he's shown that he wants to improve just based on that big jump from last year to this year. So the hard work is paying off. And I hope by the time that y'all are listening to this, he will have won the home run derby on Monday night. So shout out to Josh Bell, man. Let's go Bucks.
Yeah, hopefully Josh Bell can fill that void that was left by Andrew McCutchen. So your Buccos need it, man. Your Buccos really need it. Ain't no two ways about that.
Need a star.
Yeah. And that is it for Pepper. And guess what? That is
No,
it.
it isn't.
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, doggone it. You're going to stop leaving me out of Pepper.
No, that's it for Pepper.
No, it is not. No, it is not. I got to finish this off strong.
All right, here we go.
I think I just did.
No, Josh Bell. Anyway, because you just want to be
talk about soccer again, I'm going to just die.
You're going to die.
I knew it.
You're going to die.
Oh, no, it's death on a podcast.
He died. Because you know what? Again, shout out to the Women's World Cup team. And everybody knows about the story now about how the women get paid way less than the men. And guess what? I've done my fair share of research, and I am a businessman. It's always about revenue. What you bring in, that's what you can pay out. That's why the WNBA players don't make anywhere near what the men play, because guess what? The men bring in money. But guess what? The Women's World Cup team, the women's national team, has eclipsed the men's national team in the revenue.
Reggae.
They bring in more money than the men do. Jersey sales, ticket sales, et cetera, across the board. The women bring in more money than the men. So guess what? Pay them and pay them now. They deserve it. Back-to-back World Cup champions. Pay them. Scotty, I don't even want to know or ask why the hell you laughing.
You're making me miss Doris Burke. That's why.
You hush your face.
And with that being said, that wraps up another edition of the SportsBros Podcast. Before Scott lose his rabbit ass mind, where can they find you, Scotty D?
Find me at Beast Ninja in Myrtle Beach.
Beast Ninja.
Course training.
Yep, Beast Ninja, Myrtle Beach. We got some footage on the Facebook like page of Marquise Goodwin of the San Francisco 49ers up in there, making it do what he do. I'm going to check out that place next time I come into town, Scotty D.
Absolutely.
All right.
No doubt.
Be live. Where can they catch you?
Well, they can find me on the roads that lead to Dabo.
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir.
They can find me at Max Speed Shop, 482 North McPherson Church Road. I am the bar manager there, keeping all the libations and beers flowing up in there. All of your major sporting events, you can find me there. Also, on our social media platforms, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. This be your boy, Be Live, no I, THSBEYABOYBLIVE. You can also find us, the Sports Bros Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter will be Sports Bros PCast, and Instagram will be Sports Bros Podcast. And we're working on our YouTube channel, Sports Bros Podcast, and all of our wonderful and amazing news comes from our Facebook like page at Sports Bros Podcast. So, man, check us out. We're growing each and every day. Man, check me out on Wednesdays. I'm coming up on episode number 20.
20, y'all.
Of What Happened Wednesdays. I'm excited, and I'm telling you, every week I'm coming with it. I especially enjoyed this last one featuring my beloved Clemson Tigers.
Oh, here we go, Scott.
Thanks, shout out to my mom for the beautiful pillows that she made for me, and unfortunately the pillows that she made for my two best friends that are lame cock fans. So yeah,
thank you, Mom. We love you. We appreciate you so much. On behalf of me and JR and your boy, old boy over here, Be Live, we want to say thank you and we love you. All right, and you can find me, the HOC up in this thing, Eddy Kool. You can find me on Facebook. You can also find me at work, not sweating to death. No, I'm joking. You can find me on Instagram as well, too. Cool Season, all one word. Snapchat, Super Cool 5000. Twitter at The Real Eddy Kool. Also, the Sports Bros Podcast on Twitter. And also on the Sports Bros like page on Facebook. You know how to reach us, so make it happen, man. Get in contact with us. Feedback is always appreciated. And before we go, we got an announcement about a fantasy football league somebody wanted to make.
Oh yes. So we are in the works of the first annual Sports Bros Podcast Fantasy League. We are going to merge together with the Cool Football League, made by yours truly, the head of creative, and bringing it back after a 1-year hiatus, the 3-time KFL Fantasy Football Champion, your boy, Be Live, and his team is all the way live.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's all the way live. Hey, get with us, contact us, let us know if you want to be in the SBPL, the Sports Bros Podcast League, baby. Let's get it.
That's right. It's going to be great to see Scotty D and Be Live just beat up on each other on a weekly basis while I just slide my way to the championship.
The championship that you've never won in your own league.
You know what? That way you can't say my league. Let me tell you something. When a creator of a league does not win the championship of his own league, that is nothing but fairness, okay? I check and balance myself to make sure you guys can enjoy a fun environment so everybody can have a chance to win. Now, if I win in 4 or 5 years in a row, yes, you can smell the cockadook and steaky from a mile away, but I digress. I'm going to calm down. This that time of year, and we're getting excited. And with that being said, this is another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. This is the Sports Bros Podcast.
Yes, sir.